All right, brothers. Let's get this show started here. Just before we start, don't forget to subscribe. We got the little button on the bottom right. Just click on it. Doesn't hurt, and you will definitely survive. We got a great discussion ahead of us, a great reflection ahead of us today, and the subject is pretty simple right now because there's a lot of commotion going on here in the preview of the fight that is going to oppose Jake Paul and YouTuber or very famous YouTuber against our MMA superstar champion, ex-champion, and most probably future Hall of Famer, if not already in the Hall of Fame, Tyron the chosen one Woodley, right? I mean, it is incredible. So the subject today is pretty simple. Who who has the most to lose in this fight? Who has the more pressure entering this fight, right? And I'm laughing my ass off right now because the MMA community. I mean, I'm saying who has the most to lose. Like I'm just involving Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley. But if you look at all these freaking everything that is happening on this YouTube, you would come to realize that basically it's not only like who has to lose between Jake Paul and between Tyron Woodley, but really who has to lose between Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley, and between Jake Paul and the MMA community right now. To be honest with you, the MMA community is going berserk. I mean, let's look at it this way. It was fun. It was fun. It was very fun when it was let's say Jake Paul against Ben Askren, because I mean Ben Askren was not the champion of the UFC, and Ben Askren was not really known for his striking and for his boxing. So it was, everybody kind of knew that okay, Jake Paul was going to knock him out pretty easily and beat him up pretty handily. Since he didn't have any credential in terms of boxing, but was more like a wrestler, right? But now, and to be honest with you, it was even still fun, right? Even more fun when Conor McGregor tried to cross over and box Floyd Mayweather. Even if Floyd Mayweather was already retired for I don't know how many years, even though Floyd Mayweather was around 40 years old, and not even taking this fight seriously and fighting seriously, it was fun because they had nothing to lose. MMA has nothing to lose. Conor McGregor had nothing to lose, but everything to gain. Not only to gain on the back of Floyd Mayweather, but also to gain on the back of the boxing community, to show that, oh yeah, look at our MMA our MMA athlete. They can easily cross over in any type of discipline because we're doing so many discipline when we're in that cage and when we're training for MMA. So we at a high level, and we're able to cross over in all these different sports. But let me tell you this: they don't find it that funny now. They don't find it so funny, and that's why I'm laughing, because they know that right now they have a lot to lose. I mean, look at it this way: you got an ex-champion, Tyron Woodley, who's still pretty much in shape right now, right? Who's still pretty much in shape. I mean, you got to realize that these guys has knocked out the likes of Robbie Lawler, freaking assassin, right? He has knocked out the likes of Darren Till, a freaking assassin, big name in the MMA community. He has knocked out the likes of what Wonder Boy, great athlete, great karate, right? He has knocked him out. I mean, this guy has been in wars. He has been in wars, and he's got credential. He's respected. And again, like I was saying, I mean, you got your very best in the MMA community, and that's why. when you realize you look at all this is why, I mean, right now, this is no joke. This is no joke. It is really right now. The guys are worried. The MMA community is worried because now they cannot say nothing. And like Tyron Woodley himself saying, I mean, he has signed, he cannot back it up now. I mean, he's talking all that jazz about Jake Paul, that he's waiting to do this, and just to make sure that he's waiting a little bit just to make sure that Jake Paul cannot back up from the fight. To be honest with you, if I was to place a bet right now, I'll be betting that it is Tyron Woodley who's trying to get out of this contract any way he can, right? I mean, he's trying to intimidate the kid like he does in the MMA. But the kid's pretty solid mentally. It's pretty solid. He's pretty confident about his skills, right? And then you got a guy like Dana White who's supposed to support his MMA guy, but he's kind of distancing himself, trying to tell and trying to say that, oh, but this guy is washed up. It's been 3 years or I don't know how many that he didn't want to fight, right? He lost I don't know how many fights. He's old, so meaning to say that he cannot really represent MMA anymore. But that's wrong, and that's that's not the truth, because we know what's going on. We know what's going on. How do you want, right? We're already saying that, like, how do you want that this guy, Jake Paul, who's a YouTuber, because at the end of the day, that's what he is. I mean, he's a smart businessman. He's dedicated in training for boxing, but at the end of the day, this is not your kid who started boxing at 10 years old, 12 years old. I mean, he started boxing in the late. He's put in the hours, yes, but now you got a guy who's telling himself, right, that he has started fighting for as long as he cannot even remember, that he started like fighting as at what, 8 years old, 10 years old. Then he's gone to MMA, been fighting against like top high skill opponents, right? So, and you got this YouTuber who's coming in, just started boxing, right? And now who's challenging him, got him to sign a contract, right? To fight him. Can you imagine? I mean, I know Tyron Woodley is like saying, running his mouth and saying that, yeah, there's no way you can beat me, or blah 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 blah, right? That's just like he say himself. That's just talk, and I don't even know if he believes it himself, or he wants to force himself to believe it. Because let me tell you this. Let's just think about it 1 second. What happens now if he loses? I mean, you got these guys talking about, yeah, I'm a 5-time, or I don't know what he's saying, champion of the UFC. Yeah, I got a lot of experience. Floyd Mayweather has been training me. By the way, Floyd Mayweather training you doesn't mean anything, right? I mean, Floyd Mayweather can teach you the technique, can teach you how to try to avoid things. But in the mix, in the ring, man, I mean, you're in there by yourself. And depending on what is coming to you, then you're going to have to react. And like people say, I mean, muscle memory is a bitch, right? Because when you come to think, and when you're gonna feel the hurt, like you're saying so well, then you're gonna resort to your original habits, right? And try to rely only on that right hand, right? But he has to understand, and he knows that boxing is a total different thing. So when we're talking about pressure here and things and what he has to lose, there's a lot on the line on the side of Tyron Woodley, and I would say on the side of the MMA, because make no mistake about it, Tyron Woodley does represent the MMA community. And when we see the interview of those guys from the MMA community, that's what it is, and that's what they portray, and that's what they're saying, right? Because at the end of the day, they're saying like, oh, but why? Because some of them are still in denial as well, and are freaking scared because they know what might happen, right? They know that this kid Jake Paul, He might look like a kid and he might look like a clown, but I think that he looks like a clown that can pack a punch, right? So that's what's interesting in there. That's what's interesting in there. And this guy Tyron, I mean, he's got so much on the line as well. I mean, he's been talking so much crap, right? He's been talking so much. I figure it is because maybe he wants to boost the sales and the pay-per-view. Maybe he has cut in there. I don't know. But he's been talking a lot, right? Like I say, so much experience, champion. Yeah, you know what? I'm a gangster. I don't, you know what? People talk about it. I did it. Oh, okay. Now, okay, he's green. He's green. I don't know what that means, but yeah, he's talking about green now. Yeah. What else? What else? What else is he saying? Right. I mean, he's in the movie deals, right? He's got movie deals. So that's amazing. I mean, he's got so much to lose. And on the other side, what does really like Jake Paul has to lose in there, right? I mean, it is only his third professional fight, and like everybody's saying, I mean, in your third professional fight, what did the other guy that are even professional boxers now with maybe more than 10 or 15, 20 fights have fought? We don't know, but definitely not the top of the stack, right? So this kid comes into play after 3 fights. He's fighting our next champion, who is still in good shape, still in great shape. He's fighting our next champion, right? And he's ready to duke it out with him, right? Can you imagine? And what does he has to lose? I mean, if he loses, he's taking a step back, go back to the drawing board, and just have to fight. Maybe he loses a little bit of steam in regard to promoting himself, because at the end of the day, his promotion in terms of trying to put together fights and promotion, boxing against guys from MMA wants to cross over, will still be there, right? Because I mean, that's so funny. You know what? I mean, Dana White sees the thing. He sees the game, and that's why he was worried about this stuff. Seeing like MMA guys trying to cross over to boxing, because I mean, all his narrative is that these guys are very strong. These guys are the best athlete. These guys can cross over in all the different sports. I mean, he set the stage for his own destruction right now, right? And also the fact that he doesn't pay people that much, right? Like Randy Couture was saying, maybe it's also an issue, right? So if Tyron Woodley loses to, I guess, a beginner, actually, I would say a beginner. I mean, Jake Paul saying that he has a lot of fight, but if Tyron Woodley loses to Jake Paul, that would be crazy. Believe you me, that would be crazy. And to me, there's a lot of chances that he loses, because when I see that fight, I mean, you got Dan Hardy who kind of says it himself. I mean, it's a coin toss. It's a coin toss. It's really going to depend on the strategy of both fighters. It's going to depend also on the ability of Jake Paul to be able to take a hit, right? So especially if he's a little bit hurt, how is he going to react? Makes total sense. I mean, his defense has never been really tested. His chin has never been really tested. In fact, right? So what's going to happen when he's going to have that killer who's going to come after him and maybe tag him with a couple of shots? Is he going to fall down? Is he going to, you know what? We don't know how he's going to react, but we cannot assume that he's going to back down. We cannot assume that he's going to give up, right? So we don't know. We just have to see, because there's certain aspect of Jake Paul that we haven't seen. But when we're listening to Jay Leon and all his corner, I mean, it looks like the sparring partner that he's been having in his camp was not to play with. I mean, these guys were serious, and that he had high caliber guys who was coming to spar with him. So Man, I can't wait to see this fight, to be honest with you. I really can't wait to see this fight. I'm really getting excited because there's so much on the line right now in terms of the credibility of the MMA, of these MMA fighters and these MMA athletes who thinks that they can cross over. Because at the end of the day, what is MMA? MMA is standing up and being able to handle yourself on the ground as well. So if you got a stand up style of fight, boxing, and then you add wrestling to it, then you're good. I mean, I've been watching some stuff there. Anyway, I'm not even gonna go there. Just saying that, to be honest with you, I mean, the credibility of MMA is really at stake right now, and Dana White did actually sense it. He did sense it. Again, like I was saying, it was funny, right? It was really funny when it was to go and try to take on Floyd Mayweather and his 50-0, to try to take Mayweather and the greatest boxers of all time, even if he was past his prime. But they was so insisting on the fact that he's the one and only Money Mayweather, the best to ever done it, right? And Conor went over there and got slapped by an old man. He got slapped by an old man. And don't forget, at the time, Conor McGregor was at his peak. He was the top of the stack of the freaking UFC, right? He was the top dog of the UFC, right? And he went there and he got schooled by an old man, 40 freaking years old, who was eating his punches like it was peanuts, right? So what can I say, man? What can I say? You got the guy I don't know who said that. I mean, the one of the most honest guy in the MMA when I was seeing when I was looking at the fighters review. When I was looking at the fighters review, right, is most probably. To be honest with you, most probably Gegard what's his name? Gegard Mousasi, something like that. Gegard Mousasi, who said, I mean, what are you talking about here? You're talking about a guy. You're talking about a guy who's, I don't know what age, and who used to put people to sleep. Who's putting people to sleep, right? Who's putting people to sleep with, I don't know, for MMA gloves, right? People put people to sleep with MMA gloves. Now he's switching. He's going to boxing right now. We don't have the same rules, first of all, and we don't have the same type gloves. So how is his powers going to translate, right? Tell me how his power is going to translate, right? When he goes into that ring with Jake Paul, tell me. How is it going to translate? We don't know, and we just have to see. Does he think that he's going to have the same power, right? We don't know, right? We have to wait and see, right? We have to wait and see. And
you have been in the boxing ring.
I do think that Gegard Mousasi really said it the right way, and we can see like our good friend Dana White. He saw it all along. Like he was reading minds or something. He's a psychic, but he saw it all along. He saw it all along. Listen to this guy.
Now he's gonna go box.
Right?
They're kids.
And something that he's actually supposed to be. He hasn't won a fight in 3 years.
And
something that he's actually supposed to be good at. Now he's gonna go box.
There you go. So he's throwing his freaking guy under the bus. I mean, no less than that. He's throwing his freaking guy under the bus, saying that he doesn't have the skills anymore. He lost all his fight. He hasn't won a fight in 3 years. What is he going to go do in boxing? Because he was supposed to be good at what he was doing, and now he's gonna go do some boxing where he's not good at. That's what he means. Where he's not good at, right? That's what I understand. That's what he's telling us.
It's something that he's actually supposed to be good at.
Yeah. And now he's gonna go box, right? Now he's gonna go box. So that's really interesting. And this as the guy, like I was saying, Giga Musasi. That guy is so cool, man. And he's telling it like it is, man. He's telling it like it is. Let's see. He's telling it like it is, man. No shit.
To be honest, though. Tyron Woodley is 40 and lost all his fight. They killed him.
Lost all his fight, right? Tyron Woodley lost all his fights. 40 years old or something. I mean, the guy is honest, right? Lost all his fight. Okay, well, let's listen to this. Listen to this, though.
He's not a boxer. I don't know why people think he can box.
You know, so this is the thing now, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, they're scared shitless. MMA community is scared shitless. I mean, some of them have no choice but to back up Tyron Woodley because maybe they like him or they don't feel like they. But they know inside, so some of them are backing it up because they have to back it up. I'm not sure that all of these guys really believe that Tyron Woodley can actually beat. I mean, a lot of them don't believe that Tyron Woodley can actually beat this kid, right? And the other part of the guys, right, who are just trying to distance themselves, like Dana White is doing. They're trying to distance themselves. They're trying to say now that Tyron Woodley is not a striker, that he's not a boxer like Giger is saying right now, right? That he's not. Let's listen.
He's just got power. Like he knocks people up.
He has a one right hand with a small glove.
Let's listen to this again. With the small gloves.
He's just got power. Like he knocks people up.
He has a one right hand with
the
a small
gloves. So there you go. And look at his face. He's smiling, and we understand that. And this is the reality, right? This is the reality. But when we're saying that he's not a striker, I think that we need to hear what Woodley is saying, because Woodley is saying that he's been boxing ever since, right? And that actually boxing was always, I mean, he always had boxing in the back of his mind, right? So right now, I mean, you got all these guys from the MMA community, right, that are really or scattering, or you know, that are scattering or that are forced to back him up, because I mean, he's from the MMA community. And again, you know that it's a MMA versus Jake Paul, because I'm not even gonna say it's MMA versus boxing. It is at a certain point in time, right? But they're not, like I said, they're not finding it funny anymore. It is not fun. It is not funny anymore, right? And the guy. It is really not funny anymore. I mean, you got Darren Till. He cannot say nothing, right? I mean, if the guy loses, right? Can you understand the guy Woodley is going to lose, and Woodley has knocked him out clean, right? Put him to sleep like forever, right? So what can we say right now? What can he say? He can't say nothing, right? And all of these guys are in denial. And you got Israel true to himself. I mean, he knows he knows Jake the Kid is going to kill this guy. He's going to kill him. Masvidal is in total denial. He's saying that his good friend Tyron Woodley, I mean, I don't know if it's his good friend, but that Tyron Woodley is going to win it based on experience. Experience is going to win the fight for you, not at this level of not at this gap of technique and abilities. And again, like I was saying, no matter if Floyd Mayweather has been training you for a couple of weeks, what does that mean? How is it going to reflect in the ring when you're in the action and that you're stressed? Man, the guy on top of that is bulked, like I don't know how many muscles he's got on him. Believe you me, after the third round, if he didn't knock out Jake Paul after the third round, the guy is gonna be looking for air. That's for sure. Because it's not going to be like you are in MMA and you're gonna rest down in the cage. The guy is gonna pick you apart clean. That's it. He's gonna pick you apart clean, right? He's got his defense. He's gonna come after you. You're gonna hit his hands, his gloves, and he's gonna keep going, coming to you. So. First of all, I'm not really sure that's the strategy he's going to use right away, but around the third round, that's what he might do, right? And Tyron is going to be looking for air. So you got your Masvidal here, who's really like he doesn't want Jake Paul to win. Actually, I think that he wants Jake Paul to fight him, and like everybody wants Jake Paul to fight him. Like there until he's positioning himself to, for Jake Paul to notice him or something. Now, I was saying this is the MMA community. It is the MMA community against Jake Paul, definitely. Why am I saying that? You got your Ariel Erwani, who's coming here. He's been interviewing. Our good friend Jake Paul, right? He's been interviewing Jake Paul, and now he's saying to Jake Paul, "Don't you find that strange that all the reporters that you're seeing there are mostly like reporters from UFC? Why is that the case? Well, it's pretty simple. Why is that the case? Because they're scared, and like he's saying, maybe they're hunting for clicks. They're hunting for clicks, right? So that's what I'm saying. Now, I like Elwani, but I'm starting to see that this guy is kind of he represents the MMA, don't get me wrong, and I totally get it. He represents the MMA and he's backing up all these fighters. He cannot do it any other way. I mean, they're the one that are putting the food on his table, right? They're the one that are paying him, that are coming to his show, being interviewed and all that stuff, right? I understand that, totally get it, right? But he looks like a little bit like a sellout kind of. And that's a little bit sad because I had a lot of respect for this guy. But what they're trying to pull on Jake Paul right now was not really cool, I would say. Trying to tell him that where are your boxing fans that don't even respect you?
I don't try to be.
Where are your MMA fans that don't even respect you, right?
These are all babyface tendencies. So are you a good guy or a bad guy?
But what I like though is Jake Paul, the way he answered at one point, right? Where you see
an opponent who's actually down.
There you go.
A lot of these guys are big talkers until it comes to signing the paper, especially in the MMA community. A lot of these guys are big talkers until it comes to signing the paper, especially in the MMA community. Especially in the MMA community.
Yeah, you gotta listen to this again.
Especially in the MMA community. Especially in the MMA community. Until it comes to signing the paper. Especially in the MMA community.
Yeah. So here he goes, man. He give it back to him straight up, and I think that it's only fair, man. You don't like Ariel cannot come here and try to disrupt and try to make it seem like okay, the boxing community is disowning Jake Paul, because actually a lot of boxers, a lot of promoters from the boxing world, right, are backing him up. I'm pretty interested by his business model right now, right, and it totally makes sense because he's making a lot of cash, right, doing what he does. And people actually are tuning in to be able to watch that, right? If the guys from the UFC are there, right? If they are there, it's because they are scared. They are scared shitless, and they want to see. And believe you me, they're going to be on first row because they want to see what's going to happen during that fight. They want to see what's going to happen during that fight. And if Jake Paul is actually going to knock out Tyron Woodley, but not knock out Tyron Woodley, knock out an ex-UFC champion who lately had a great fight against, who was it against? Let's see. He had a great fight, let's see, Tyron Woodley UFC, let's see that. Because he had a great fight. I saw that fight against Vincenzo Luque. That was a freaking war. Believe you me, that was a freaking war, that fight. And I mean, he could have won that fight actually, right? But he got submitted again, Mr. Tap Out, like Floyd was calling. Man, it's a habit. It's only tap out boys that are crossing over now, and that's amazing. But yeah, I mean, Vicente Luque is the upcoming star right now. right? And Tyron Woodley actually gave him a run for his money. So Tyron Woodley is still in good shape. 19-7 the records and all that stuff in MMA. So the guy, he's got credentials, man. He's got fights, right? So can you imagine the reason they tune in is pretty evident. This guy is talking a lot. This guy is talking a lot. I don't know how much he believes in himself, really. I don't know how much he believes in himself. But we got to admit that he did put him in a very precarious situation right now. And he's putting a lot on the line, right? A lot more on the line than Jake Paul is putting on the line, right? And I don't know if he realizes it, but I think that at one point he might realize it. And if he does realize it, what I'm scared about this is that this guy, right, might try to throw an elbow or throw I don't know, a kick, wrestle the guy. He might try to do some shit like that to get disqualified, or I don't know, right? Not to lose face, and that we don't consider his defeat like a clean defeat. I mean, he looks like that. He looks like that, to be honest with you, right? He looks like that, to be honest with you, right? Starting a brawl, right? Saying that, oh, he talk bad about my mama, whatever, right? That's what he looks like, trying to intimidate the kid. I don't think that this works. I think that the kid is confident about his abilities and that he's got a strategy to be able to beat Tyron Woodley. And I don't think that the strategy is pretty hard I don't think that the strategy is pretty hard to think about, right? Just get him from the outside, right? And just watch him when he's trying to explode, or catch him when he's trying to explode, right? But because this is predictable, he's going to do it. He's going to do it. He cannot. He gonna try to be technical and try to be Floyd Mayweather. Is he crazy? I mean, does he know how long Floyd Mayweather trained to be Floyd Mayweather and to have his style, his defensive style? Come on, man. Don't do that. So that's why these guys are tuning in, because they're scared. They're scared that somebody really put to shame one of their superstar, that he puts to shame an entire MMA industry, right? And unfortunately, I think that that's what's going to happen. So if you ask me now, who's got the most to lose, who should have the most pressure on him, I would say definitely Tyron Woodley. Because Jake Paul on his side, he's got everything to win. Can you imagine if he beats Tyron Woodley? I mean, the headlines, and like he says, the clicks and the followers and the this and that he's going to have. What is Tyron Woodley is going to have if he beats Jake Paul? Yeah, he's going to beat Jake Paul. People are going to say, okay, you shut up the mouth of this loudmouth. That's it. But what is the recognition in terms of, oh yeah, I beat a great boxer who was a champion, or even beating like a guy, like a legit guy like Jay Leon, who has a big history in boxing, right? I mean, he would have more props of beating this guy than actually beating Jake Paul, right? Because at the end of the day, he's supposed to beat Jake Paul with all his big talk, right? With all his experience, with all his belt. Like if his UFC belt are gonna come fight, jump from the octagon and fight for him in the boxing ring, right? Interesting. It's just interesting because people are in denial. People are going crazy over this. But make no mistake, this is a boxing match. This is a boxing fight. This is not like MMA fight, right? This is not a street fight. This is a boxing technical fight, right? And more and more people are proving now. People are proving. And I don't want to advance myself and blah blah blah, etc. But if this fight, if he wins, right, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. Who has the most pressure? Who has the most to lose? Again, this is this guy. This is this guy here. This is Woodley, who has the most to lose. And who has the most to lose? Who has the most to lose? Well, this is This is also the MMA community. This is the UFC as well that has the most to lose, right? To be losing to a little YouTuber who just started like boxing not long ago, right? Who's going to come and whip the ass of a big champion who's been fighting since he's like 8-10 years old, right? What are we talking about? A guy who's been a champion, wrestling champion in his college days and all that stuff. What are we talking about here? There should be not even a contest. There should be no competition. I mean, already the fact that the bookies are actually putting him right as a favorite is an insult. It's already an insult to Tyron Woodley and the UFC and the MMA and all that you have. But people don't see that, right? People don't see that. Oh, they see it. But one thing's for sure is that those media that he's talking about, Ariel Elwani, right? It's those guys. It's those guys that see it. They see it. They see the potential. They want to be here and they want to take the picture when Tyron Woodley is going to hit the floor. That's what they want to do. It's going to be drama. It's going to be drama. It's going to be crazy. Tyron Woodley is going to make that kid rich beyond belief, right? He's going to make that kid rich beyond belief. And believe you me, he's got the pressure. People are talking about, how is Jake Paul's going to react when he's going to get hurt? How is Jake Paul's going to react when he's going to push back? Yeah, I want to know as well. And definitely this is a question. This is a question mark. We don't know how he's going to react. But let me tell you this. How is Tyron Woodley is going to react when he's going to see a 24-year-old like kid, baby, right? Punching him, right? That has like no credential, no experience, not the extended experience that he has, throw a punch, right, and hurt him. And that he's trying to tag the kid and hurt the kid and maybe he won't be able. How is he going to react, right? How is he going to react? I'd like to see that as well, right? And that's what we don't ask. That's the question that we don't ask, right? It's not always like getting the hit. It's just always sometime also by who you're getting hit and by who you're getting hurt, right? That's going to be interesting. That's an interesting fight, right? That's a freaking interesting fight that I cannot wait to see. I cannot wait to see it. So everybody, I'd like to hear your I'd like to hear your comment and let me know what you think about this. Who's got the most pressure? The more pressure. Who's got the most pressure? Who's got the most to lose in this fight? And obviously, you know my take on this. This is definitely Jake Paul against the MMA community, the UFC. This is definitely Jake Paul against a great champion, a little kid, a little YouTuber from Cincinnati, from Ohio. Who's gonna fight against a freaking UFC champion, right? I mean, this is like we cannot do it any better. I mean, the kids already got a movie coming up. So okay, let me know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe. I cannot wait to read you. Thumbs up, thumbs down, doesn't matter. You got the right to your opinion, and at the end of the day, maybe I'm totally in the wrong. If I am, let me know why. Let me know how. All right. So